Hello, I'm AbXToyCam. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about building in Minecraft. And the reason I'm talking about building is because whenever I build stuff in the background, I get a lot of random flack for different things in Minecraft, and it's made me realize that builders are the easiest group to annoy in Minecraft. So I figured I'd give you a guide on how you can annoy your building friends today. Except it seems a bit mean to give you a guide on how to annoy your friends, so instead we have a totally serious, wink wink, guide on how you can actually, really impress your building friends in Minecraft with really useful tips for building that you totally want to use all the time. So hopefully you will enjoy today's video. If you do like it, please do like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel and lets us know you do like just a little bit of sarcasm in your day. But yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? So let's start by talking about, not the zombie in the background, which has the really weirdly sized head, which again, got a lot of comments about that one, but instead it's the one that really prompted this video, because a couple of weeks ago I built a chicken in the background of the video, and people mentioned how much they really loved just how non-symmetrical the chicken was. So yeah, if you want to, really impress your building friends, you want to make sure whenever you build something, especially if it's nature related, that it's non-symmetrical. Because if you don't know, in real life, you rarely find symmetry. Faces aren't symmetrical, too symmetrical and your face gets weird. You never find anything really symmetrical in nature. It's just not how it works. So if you want to have that work in Minecraft and make it look more natural, what you need to do is you need to make it more non-symmetrical. So for instance, my chicken has more feathers on one side than the other. People love that, and if you want to really impress them, you've got to do that too. So yeah, that's tip number one here. You want to make sure everything's non-symmetrical. Even if you have like a shadow, make sure that's non-symmetrical too, because otherwise, people are going to be a little bit upset that it's all symmetrical and it just, seems to look too logical. So with that said, let's move on to the second tip here, which is actually to do with placing your blocks, because, you might think that you're going to place, just some normal blocks, make a shape like that, but really, one thing a lot of people forget to do that's a really vital step to building is making sure you place a few random blocks all over the place. So for instance, you can see my chicken here, something looks a little bit off about it, and the reason for that is because I haven't decided to place some nether brick fences on the side here, just a couple followed by a weirdly placed oak wood block, for instance. Again, in real life, that can be like a weird feather pointing off, and it just makes the build look so much more realistic and better. And actually, let's place a few more of these. You can kind of tell it needs this. Again, try and get them in as random directions as possible, because in real life, you don't get normal stuff. So as you can see right there, just a few oak wood logs really does add to the character of the build. And again, your building friends will come over, they'll compliment you so much, and they'll absolutely love it. With that said, the third tip here is also to do the same thing, because when you're placing your random blocks, you need to make sure you have something like vines or ladders on there, because otherwise, how are you going to climb up and down the thing? So try and place at least a couple of vines on the thing, so one over there, and if you can do some ladders across it, you got to do that, because you got to be able to climb the build, right? And also, again, it looks so beautiful, you got to do that there. And while you're on the same page anyway, what you want to do is you want to use a bunch of specific blocks, because builders really love sponges, they really love netherrack, and most of all, again, I've got an entire list where people mention what blocks they love. People really love gravel. It's just one of the best looking blocks in the game. Like, you might look at the block and say, oh yeah, this looks like absolutely nothing, but truth be told, look at it and now imagine a whale's gone ill, it's died, it's decomposed for a few years, and boom, that's what the gravel block is. And isn't that just the most useful thing in the game? I think it is. So yeah, make sure you use all three of these blocks together, get a little bit of sponge in there if you can, get a little bit of netherrack, and a little bit of gravel. So for instance, these feet, they look a little bit off when they're in a yellow wall, so instead we use some sponges, and as you can see, it just looks beautiful. You can just sense your building friends right now being really, really pleased with you for doing this. Again, on the same page, you want to maybe replace the beak a little bit, so we'll just place a few random blocks here. Got to keep a little bit of both, and then some netherrack instead of the red beak just over here. Again, people are absolutely going to love this. Friends compliment me all the time on my building block choices, and just like that, boom, doesn't the chicken look so much better now than it did before? Oh, except we need to put some gravel. So instead of eyes, we'd have gravel. Again, the decomposed dead whale is a really good look people love to go for. So with that said, what can you do after this? You might think, I've gone for a non-symmetrical, unique block with random blocks placed all over the place, but it just doesn't feel enough for me. So this is where you want to go to the next level, which is switching texture pack. Builders really love texture packs, like the plastic texture pack, like the pattern texture pack, and you want to make sure you use one of those. But the one they love most of all, and this one is a pretty expensive one, is the Mass Effect texture pack. Everyone is always complimenting just how good all the blocks are on that. So I figured what I'd do is I would load up the build in that, and I'd show you just how much people love it. Okay, and just like that, you can see how much people really, really love this texture pack and why it is. I mean, you look at any build, and it just looks so much better. I mean, the hearts and the the armor, they look kind of weird before. Now they look just exactly normal, how you'd want to see them. And the same is true for this chicken over here. You look at it, and now it truly looks like a chicken for once. Before, you could kind of see how it wasn't really a chicken. You could kind of get the vague look, but now this looks exactly what a chicken looks like, and it's really beautiful, isn't it? I like it quite a lot, and yeah, a lot of your building friends, they'll really love it when you build all your builds in the Mass Effect texture pack, because it's just so good. You look at any block, and it just all makes so much sense. So with that said, what is the final tip here when it comes to building, and you want to really impress your friends, what should you do? So if your friends are also building along with you, something they really love it to do, if you have host privileges on, is make sure that fire spread zone because, you know, if fire doesn't spread, it's just not realistic. And also make sure you leave weather on thunder permanently. You know, you can't have web cycle on because people love it when, you know, the rain, it makes their builds look a lot more moody. And people also love it when thunder strikes because, you know, it hits their build. They have to slowly put out the fire. It's a fun game they like to play, and I hope you did all enjoy today's video. I saw one too many comments about like something on the builds, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna show builds how we like it, and we're gonna maybe torch them a little bit. So hopefully, if you do have any friends who are really into the building, you can maybe you know, just add a little bit of spice to your builds and really impress them, because they totally love all the things I mentioned in this video. And yeah, if you want to actually you know, really impress totally your friends, you can do that. So yeah, I hope you did all enjoy the video. If you did, please do like it and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you are new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Isn't this chicken just beautiful? I think it is. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and let me know if you want to see any more building guides in the future, because for now, I'm going to have to see you all in the next video. So goodbye, everybody.